Warning, do not use with Milwaukee products. What? Do not use with Makita products. Why would which brand of bit set make any... So now that everyone knows the dangers of mixing brands, let's take a look at some of the differences and similarities of the Makita Impact X bits and the Milwaukee Shockwave bits. Taking a look at the cases themselves, they are about the same height, but the Milwaukee case is substantially slimmer in width and thickness. They're about the same. And as you may know, the reason for that, Makita being so wide, is because it has another storage compartment in here that can hold this longer adapter and a bunch of the smaller bits. They say you can put 50 of these smaller bits in here. Now, comparing the colors of the cases to the tools, you can see the Milwaukee is pretty accurate to what the tool is. This tool is a little dirty, which is why it looks a little darker. But the Makita, on the other hand, the case is a brighter teal than the tool itself. This is a more dark and dull teal. The reason Makita did that might be so you could see the case a little better if it's a brighter color. Other than that, I would have no idea why they would change the color of their case from the tool. The cases themselves are both a hard plastic. The latch mechanism on the Makita is a sliding one, slide to open, whereas the Milwaukee one is a latch that unclicks and you pop it closed. As far as retention of both of these locking mechanisms, I have noticed that sometimes when I throw this in a tool bag or something, the Makita slide will be a little bit up, but it has never come open on me. The Milwaukee case is able to flex torsionally, but other than that is very solid. But on the Makita, since it has the storage going through the center, it has no torsion, but it is very loose. The bit holders in the Makita are easy to flip up and down and hold the bits in very well, yet easy enough to remove them. Whereas with the Milwaukee, I find it kind of difficult to lift these up. I can't really lift these up very easily by themselves. I need to pull on the bits to pry it up. It's a lot stiffer in that direction, and on this bottom row, there's not really any room to grab, so getting it open is pretty difficult. Also, the bits themselves don't seem to have as much retention. They easily slide in and out. The type of the bit is labeled on the Makita case, whereas they are not on the Milwaukee. So I think both these cases have their positives and negatives, but neither is perfect. As far as bit material, Milwaukee uses what they call their custom 72 steel alloy, and Makita uses S2 spring steel.
Performance optimized S2 steel for extended life.
They also both claim to have precision machined heads for better fitment in the screw or whatever you're driving in. Both of the bit holders have a locking ring on it to hold the bits in securely, and a magnet at the bottom too. They both have the same overall length for their bit holders, and that goes for their longer bit holders as well. As for fitment, the Milwaukee here seems to move let's say that's about 3 degrees maybe in pretty much every direction, whereas the Makita, not at all. Practically nothing. With the Makita, if I push the screw in, it stays in and won't fall off. Whereas if I try to do the same with the Milwaukee, the screw just drops. Moving on to square heads here. And I dropped it. Moving on to square heads here. This is a Craig pocket hole screw. It's probably one of the most common things you would see a square number 2 on. The Milwaukee square number 2, if I put it in, there's some wiggle. Wobble, baby, wobble, baby. Not as much as the Phillips number 2 for the Milwaukee had, but there is some wiggle. And for the Makita square number 2, almost no wiggle. And for the hold test, the Makita does hold the screw very well and has a satisfying pop when you pull it out.
Nice.
The Milwaukee does hold it too, very solidly as well, but not quite as tight, as it just comes out kind of easily. And now we'll test it with a Torx 20 screw. The Milwaukee has, again, quite a bit of wobble on this one, and it doesn't seem in tight at all. And the Makita also has quite a bit of wobble. Now it says these are T-Star Plus, used with T20 Plus. I don't know what that is. If someone could leave a comment down below, tell me what T20 Plus is, and if it's different than a regular T20 bit, that would be really helpful. So both the Milwaukee and the Makita Torx bits do rock back and forth in the head, but they don't turn at all, so they won't cam out. And the test wouldn't be complete without actually testing these bits and driving them into some stuff. So, montage time. So a couple problems I ran into while doing that. With the Milwaukee Phillips number 2 bits, the wobble in them caused the tool to just fall over every time I was trying to put in the screw, whereas I didn't have that problem with the Makitas. On both bit sets, the square number 2 heads were getting stuck in the pocket hole screws, the square head screws, and so when I removed them, I was unable to get them out by pulling it like that. They were so in after impacting it on that I had to, whack it on the wood.
That's what she said.
To get it off. And with the Torx 20 screws, both bit sets did perfectly. None of them cammed out, and they both drove it in very easily. And I think what this shows is that even though the Torx ones can wobble a little bit, since they have so many points on them, they're a superior design, and they won't cam out anyway, regardless of how tight the bit is in there. So take from this video what you will, and you decide which one better suits your needs. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe, or else your grandpa's a trap, and I'll see you in the next one.